Hello, Lisa.
Hi.
I have to tell you, that's a great pair of wings you got.
Thank you.
And when I got the memo that you had a heavenly body, it wasn't hidden. Now I'm going to guide you just like you're going to guide me right back. But before you do that, I want you to answer two questions.
Okay.
Back on Earth, who did you love and why?
My kids and my husband.
Such a sweet answer. And I'm just curious, how many kids did you have?
17.
17.
Yeah.
You know, Lisa, I love my cigar, but I take it out of my mouth once in a while.
Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door.
Oh, Eli, you're in this part of heaven because the good guys want you to meet and talk to someone who wishes she wasn't here, but is kept here for obvious reasons. Now, don't laugh. She looks like that actor Divine in Drag. I mean, they should have been twins, Julius said as he pointed to a very small wooden shack. I'm going back to the winery. I'll be here when you're finished. Eli waved to Julius and wondered about why he was being picked to meet certain people and for what reason. So he could be the smartest cat on earth, he assumed when he got up to a real crummy-looking shack and knocked on the door. The first thing Eli realized was that Julius was wrong. The woman, if it was a woman, who answered the door was far uglier than the actor named Divine who dressed in drag. Julius's description was an insult to Divine, and if Divine was up here, Eli intended to tell him so. Maybe Eli would get Divine to sit in on Julius or something like that. Hi, Eli said, extending his hand, hoping that the person in the doorway didn't take it. My name is Eli Canaan. I was told to come here. She didn't shake his hand, and he was relieved. Yes, I was told to expect you. Sit down over by the fire, and I'll get some water. You must be thirsty. My name is Madeline Murray O'Hare. Name mean anything to you, sonny boy? No, said Eli. I don't have a clue. I'll say you don't, but others say you do, she replied. No offense, but how come your place is so, Eli stammered. Shitty, O'Hare butted in with? I was thinking more along the lines of by itself, Eli said. No, you weren't, O'Hare said. You think it's shitty, and you know that, she asked Eli. Eli shrugged. You're right, she said, but we'll try. Why are you so happy about having a shitty house up here in heaven? Eli asked. Yes? Because I'm an atheist. The most important atheist of all time, said proudly. Never heard of you, Eli said. Sorry, he added. Did you ever pray in school? The woman asked Eli. What? He replied. Pray in class with classmates and the teacher, sonny boy, said the woman, who Eli realized was obnoxious. A character trait he hadn't yet witnessed in heaven, but on earth was far too common. Yes, I prayed with classmates and a teacher, Eli said. Impossible. You were too young to have done so. Since when did they let liars in heaven? She asked no one in particular. Since when did they let an asshole and a moron into heaven who was also an atheist? Eli thought to himself. Look, lady, I was in Hebrew school for a few years. We did a lot of praying, Eli said. The woman started to laugh, if you could call it a laugh. It sounded like tee-hee, tee-hee, and tee-hee to Eli. Like someone would write for a comic book character, Eli later said to Julius. That woman belongs in a comic book and not in heaven, Julius replied. And Eli agreed once he had a conversation with Madeline Murray O'Hare, the founder of American Atheists, who successfully petitioned the United States Supreme Court to ban school prayer in public schools. Sorry, sonny boy, I didn't think to ask you if you attended public or private schools, said Madeline. Besides, taxes paying for public schools and parents paying for private schools, what's the difference, Eli asked. Again, Madeline Murray O'Hare broke into her weird laugh. It's those public tax dollars that get them all the time, she added. Lady, just who are you, and why are we talking about prayer in public schools up in heaven? But if you must know, after I attended Hebrew school for a few years, my parents moved to a nice suburban community and enrolled me in a public school. There was no organized prayers, but lady, I prayed a lot, I said. Aha, she screamed, as she pointed an accusatory finger at his chest. I knew it. You were part of a God squad on earth. Look, just who the hell are you, Eli asked. I am Madeline Murray O'Hare. I made school prayer illegal, said Madeline. Well, I was never arrested. Did you know what I prayed for? Eli asked her. The usual. God bless America. God bless the school. God bless our parents. And, of course, God bless the taxpayers, she said sarcastically. Wrong, Madeline. I prayed for a perfect grade. that sweat stains wouldn't show under my arms when I raised my hand, that the class beauty would go out with me, that I wouldn't get cut from the football team, the usual things, Eli said sarcastically. Sonny boy, I'd been praying, pun intended, for one like you. God must be getting bored or getting ready for something else. There has been talk, you know, she said. I thought you were an atheist, that you didn't believe in God, Eli said. Sonny boy, this ain't heaven for me, it's hell, she said with a sigh. And Eli knew for sure that the God of his father, the Almighty, had one terrific sense of humor. He wasn't going to get on God's bad side, that was for sure. Tell me about you, Eli found himself asking the founder of American atheism. No one ever asked me things like that. As a matter of fact, I didn't get many visitors, he said. Gee, what a surprise, Eli said. I was in World War II. I was married and had an affair with an officer. I wanted to marry him, but his wife wouldn't, or he wouldn't divorce. His last name was Murray, and I took his name, because I had divorced my first husband, she said. How did you take his last name if he wouldn't get divorced to marry you? Eli asked Mrs. O'Hare. Because I wanted to. I'm a very strong-willed woman, she replied. Oh, replied Eli. A feminist, too. Hell no, I took his last name, Sonny boy, not his balls, she said. Eli rolled his eyes. He was being sarcastic when he suggested she was a feminist. He was also thinking how hard up the officer in the military must have been to have had an affair with this woman. She was ugly, there was no question about that, and there was no way that she was pretty when she was younger. She was so ugly, I wouldn't have had sex with her, and you know my past, Eli said to Julius later, after they talked about the meeting. She's so ugly, she is what snakes do when they are drunk, Julius countered with. Madeline Murray O'Hare continued with the introduction to Eli Canaan. Why my lover wouldn't get divorced, she asked Eli. Put up, Eli? Maybe miraculously cured of his kindness popped into his thinking. He shook his head no. He was a Roman Catholic, that's right. He could be my lover and commit adultery, but he couldn't get divorced. Lousy Catholics, she screamed out as she lifted her arms out and up in protest. The mafia has nothing on that church. Hell, the Catholic Church is organized crime at its best. They even have a godfather. They call him the Pope. I've heard a lot of bad things about the church, Eli agreed, but he wouldn't agree that they were from a form of organized crime. How about all those little priests molesting little boys? And what does the church do? Why, pay off the families and the little boys and move the priests to another parish so they can molest other young boys, O'Hare answered. Told you they weren't like the mafia, Eli said. What did you say? If the mafia had soldiers molesting little boys, they would be whacked. Your analogy sucks, Eli said. You don't know diddly squat about the Catholic Church, sonny boy.